This week's Kickstarter, Pickstarter, Jonathan Estes will be played by Rob Schneider and Will Keeler by A Sack of Corn. Let's see what shenanigans they get up to in the week of July 8th, 2019. Cyanide and Happiness have teamed up with Skybound, the creators of Super Fight and Red Flag, to bring you Trial by Trolley. This is a party game based on the old philosophical question of who would you kill if you were in a trolley, whether it be one person versus five. This time, though, you'll be playing cards in teams with either innocent, such as maybe puppies or someone who beat cancer, as well as putting maybe not so innocent, nefarious people such as Hitler or a mass murderer, your evil doppelganger, as well as maybe trying to mess around with other people by adding adjectives to the other cards, like maybe the puppies are nice, but they're going to die anyways. Or if Hitler found a cure for cancer. You'll play on teams, and one person will be the conductor, your judge, and decide whether to go left and right and who they kill. The team that lost each player will get skulls, and then at the end, whoever has the least amount of skulls, pretty much the least deaths suggestions, will win. It looks like just one of the simple games, but I have not played the other Cyanide and Happiness card.
Joking Hazard?
Yes, Joking Hazard. But I have played Skybound's both Red Flag and Super Fight. Mm-hmm. And they're definitely that fun light party game. And I do like this because it plays on that trolley question, which I think is a very stupid question. So I think just making it very silly is very funny.
Yeah, I've liked Cyanide and Happiness, some of their stuff before. I've played Red Flags too. I haven't played any of the other ones. But I thought some of the stuff in this seemed funny. My only thing is that I feel like with a lot of these games, once you've seen some of the jokes, I think it's, for me at least, it won't be as funny the third time you play it.
That's definitely true. But I will say, it's a small thing. But the fact usually those games are just words, at least you have a little bit of pictures there and stuff.
That's nice. That at least, they put a little more effort into it than just text on a card.
And another sort of cool thing is what they're doing is, if you look at the pledge, the main page, they'll be putting up, I don't know, it's daily or whenever, how long it is, but it's like, we have a decision. Right now it's your doppelganger holding your puppy versus a father of five. And you actually decide where the trolley's going to hit. You get bonuses. I doubt it matters which side hits. It's probably the same, but still a fun thing that you go. But the challenge thing you're supposed to post in the updates. Listen carefully. The updates, not the regular comment section. Because right now I like to look at the comment to see if there's anything weird. This is just filled with left, right, left. And people going, not here. So you can see who you think should live or die in this fun party game. It has a basic pledge level of 25, which I think is probably the highest you want to get in this kind of thing of simply cards and stuff, which is good. Mm-hmm. But there is a higher pledge level that actually comes with the trolley mini, so you can literally move it along the track and just run everyone over, as well as, of course, a bunch of Kickstarter exclusive cards and probably some more dirtier ones as well, I think.
Demigods is next. It's a role-playing game that uses the Apocalypse system with some tweaks. If you're not familiar, it's a straightforward RPG system. You do things, you roll dice. Depending on the outcome, you'll succeed or not succeed, or the GM may get the chance to add to the story. So this is one of those ones where players can contribute a little more than perhaps a traditional RPG. The premise is that players are demigods, but not just any demigods. You're specifically the children of famous gods. So it's sort of like the Disney show Descendants, where it's all about the kids of the villains. In this one, you'll pick an archetype, like you might be a trickster or a warrior, and you can decide your parent might be, Loki or Poseidon or Zeus or whoever you want, or it might be you don't know who it is and you're trying to discover that. You could even, it kind of sounds a little bit to me like definitely influenced by things like American Gods, and you might have a more abstract concept, like maybe it's a more modern thing. Like as an example, they said the internet, or it could just be media, that you're more of the child of a thing people worship that's not necessarily a traditional god. You can kind of go crazy and, play with it however you want. And you have special gifts and abilities. There are even systems for if you die and you have to go through trials like gods do and make your way back to the living world. Sounded like some cool, fun ideas. I don't know. My only concern is I don't know if it'll feel like one of those things where, yeah, this is cool, but I'd rather just play as the actual gods themselves. But I like that it has a kind of a twist to it. It's a fun idea.
I actually was thinking I'd like this better than just playing as the gods. Mm-hmm. And I will say the first thing that came to mind as soon as you read it was American Gods. I'm like, it's American Gods, but maybe happier.
It depends on how you want to take it.
But I'm always happy also to hear it because at first you listed Loki and Poseidon. I'm like, did they only cover those two? Not that there's anything wrong with those pantheons, but I know I probably would want to go an Egyptian god just because I love a lot of the lore there. But there's so many cool gods, and it's nice that you could maybe take some more weird, interesting paths.
Yeah, no, they go out of their way to say you can put it in a fictional setting if you want, so you could literally play in the American Gods setting, or anything else that you want. It's pretty open-ended. It's cool. It's some cool stuff. You can get the PDF for $9 or the physical book for $27, and it's called Demigods.
To help out with the RPG we mentioned before, and maybe many other ones, we have Dungeon Craft from 1985 Games. This is not a game or a sort of source book, but what it is a bunch of tiles to add to your map. So what you ever think about when you need to design, like whether you're in the middle of a town square, a forest, a dungeon, this is a big book that you can sort of just take out pieces of the design to just place on top of a 1x1 grid map. So one of those large play mats you get for Pathfinder or D&D. So you can quickly set up a nice looking town without having to draw a poor squiggle or something. So you can really do a cool whole city that actually looks nice. And not only that, let's say you had to run through the city very fast, to use an example. If you get from one end to the other, you can quickly just rearrange stuff and say you're now in the next part of the city. Or if there's something that's like a hut or a building, if you go into that, you can flip it over. So instead of seeing a roof, you see the inside, in case that they enter the building versus climbing on top like they're assassins from Assassin's Creed. Simple thing, but I think that's probably a really helpful thing in visualization, as well as just having more tools for the GM that doesn't have to actually feel bad if they don't have an artistic skill.
It sounds like, for it's a low price, and you don't have to
buy a bunch of 3D models that you don't know where to store.
Serious terrain that's like the hardcore stuff, or the other way, which is what we usually do, is just theater of the mind type stuff. But it's nice to have a middle ground where it's not just a grid, but there's a little bit of extra flavor to it. That's cool.
It's pretty cool, and I think they're also, I think it's stretch goals or an add-on, I can't remember right now, but of stuff for hell, which is pretty convenient with the new D&D.
Right in time for Avernus.
Yes, thank you. As well as some sea stuff too, because isn't that also Seaport?
Saltmarsh came out recently.
So they're keeping up with at least D&D stories. Mm-hmm. So it's $30, I think, for the base book, but of course, whenever you have any of these RPG things, there's more pledge levels for bigger books, maybe multiple. So see if that would be something that'd be a boon to your play group.
Here's a game that's a little bit outside our normal wheelhouse. It's called the Epic Fail Game. It's a game designed for children, so probably not for you if you're watching this, but maybe you're a parent or you know a parent, and this is one you might want to consider. The idea behind the game is that they are trying to teach children how to cope with failure. So, you always hear this kind of a cliche complaint about, every kid, they give them a medal for everything. This game is designed to just try to counter that and teach kids that it's okay to lose sometimes and just have fun with it. It's really less of a game and more of a series of activities. It has a bunch of different cards, and it'll make all players do something like you have to draw a picture, but you're using your feet, or activities like or maybe some craft type activities. You're building some kind of a tower, but you're using spaghetti noodles and marshmallows, so it's going to fall apart. And there's no points or anything. You can play. You can just do one. You can play a bunch of them, whatever you want, and the idea is everybody is going to, it's eventually whatever they're doing is not going to work out the way they want it to, and maybe kids learn from that. It's something that could be used in classrooms or just around the house. Comes with a little book, along with a lot of cute little illustrations that kind of have this cut-out paper, construction paper look to them. It's this Finnish illustrator who did work on it. But I thought it seemed fun. It also comes with a little booklet, with some instructions, but also kind of more pictures, and it's more of a guidebook and less of just strictly mechanical rules and things, so something to flip through. It's also from two Australian parents designed it, so if you watch the video, you get to watch their kids with these fun Australian accents. So for me, that was a bonus too.
They should come out with an expansion titled the Millennial Expansion, where everything's recorded, put online, so it's there forever.
I think that's built in. I think every parent who buys this will be adding that expansion themselves. So maybe you have kids, maybe you think this looks fun. It goes for $21, but it's Australia, so I don't know about how shipping works depending on what country you're in. That's, of course, always an issue for all our games. But you can take a look right now. It's the Epic Fail game.
Those are our picks for this week. It might seem light, but that's because 2 Kickstarters have separate videos. We have Legion, a card game you can check out a video for, and Pret-a-Porter from Portal. This is the 3rd reprint of a very popular Euro game. We did a whole video on it so you can see a bit more of what the art's like and how the game plays instead of just our quick 5-second take in the Kickstarter video over it.
Yeah, I think Pret-a-Porter is definitely the big release this week. There's also a new Button Shy game, so if you want to take a look at that. So there's some other stuff that maybe we missed that maybe you are interested in, and you should talk to us about it in the comments, down in the comments place. And also, follow us on all our other platforms, etc. We appreciate you being here. Till next time, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Will.
And this has been Roll for Crit's Kickstarter Pickstarter.
Never miss out by liking and subscribing, and you can also check out more on our Patreon.
We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Twitch, so follow us there.